What's happening? Still a nation, still a faithful, still a family. What's happening? Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel Basement. And here we are. No phone calls tonight, guys. No phone calls tonight. I've pretty much started to sunset Blog Talk Radio. Still searching for the best program to use, but I promise y'all I will have a solution for you guys very soon, because I definitely want to hear you guys. But I will have a solution for you very soon, so just be patient, bear with me. I won't have you wait too long. But anyway, guys, how's everybody doing? How's everything going? I'm just checking my stream. That's why you guys see me looking down. I'm just making sure audio levels and everything are okay. It looks like they are. Hold on, give me one more second. Hold on. But how's everybody doing this lovely Tuesday evening? Hope you all are well. Hope you've had a great weekend. Hope you guys are staying warm. If you're like me, if you're in my part of the world, you know, we got hit with a snowstorm, so hopefully everybody is safe and sound. And okay, here we go. Audio seems to be working correctly. So, this is what's on the agenda tonight. Just going to reflect a little bit more about the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, and what happened on Sunday night and what I think it meant for this Steelers team. The things that don't give me high hopes at all heading into the playoffs. You guys see my title there, and I will reference the title here in a moment again. And I'll talk a little more about, again, man, what I think is plaguing the team. I talked a little bit about it in the post game, but I want to make sure I revisit that for those who didn't get a chance to hear it. But first, what we're going to do is say hello to the early commenters. Hello, Miss Lady Angie, a.k.a. Baby Steeler. Hello, Angie. Thank you for tuning in. Like always, we appreciate each and every one of our faithful ladies. So, guys, you know the routine, man. Say hello. Treat them with care. Treat them like royalty. The Art Steeler, Mark Cunningham, Steelers Cards. Oh, my man, one of our favorites, man. Jason Winningham, Mr. Winningham. How you doing tonight, sir? Haven't heard from you in a while in terms of verbally, so definitely I want to get the phone or some type of access to taking calls back very, very, very soon. Love always hearing from you, man. Love just the wisdom that you bring. So, you know, we always appreciate that. And yeah, look out for that soon, guys. We'll have phone calls returning very, very, very soon. Mr. Fleetwood, Ollie Howard, Knight Rider, my good brother Kenyon in the building, Jared Devil, Antoine Hill, Leonard Green, Malvo, Jack Bauer, and Anthony Chandler. Those are the early commenters. So yeah, let's get to it, guys. I'm actually going to pull my notes again, man, from the game just to see if there's anything else that I forgot to mention that I did not mention. I believe I pretty much got it all, man, on I want to say I got it all. I want to say that I got it all. Yeah, I think I covered everything. Here's the thing. A couple things that I'm still tired of, man. I was watching some of the All 22 earlier today. Got to finish watching it, of course. And I sent a couple of videos to Kenyon and Tony. It's just a couple things that it just bothers me when I watch this team, man. And we've been watching it all season. You can even go back a few seasons ago in terms of some of the things we're doing defensively that we're still doing that I just don't love. Number one, in this particular game, very first drive by the Cincinnati Bengals. One shout out that I would give, I'll give a small shout out to Deshaun Elliott on his tackle for loss early on in that drive. You know, he made the tackle about a yard or so behind the line of scrimmage, got up, doing his thing, being Deshaun Elliott. But then also a couple times on that drive, Deshaun Elliott got exposed. And I'm not saying that negatively towards Deshaun Elliott. I'm just using the word exposed. Kind of got exposed in one-on-one coverage. There was a time, I forget which receiver it was. I don't know if it was T. Higgins or someone else, or it might have been a tight end. When they caught Deshaun Elliott, it was when he was at the top of the screen. The tight end, I believe, was the single receiver on that side. And Elliott was trailing. Receiver stopped and he ran a stop route. And Elliott was literally like 4 or 5 yards away from him. Easy pitch and catch. Then there was another time on that drive, man, where we got matched up again and Elliott was chasing the tight end towards the middle of the field. They kind of ran a slant. So kind of got exposed a little bit when he had to play more of a man-to-man type coverage. Now, listen, like I said, I'm not getting on Deshaun Elliott. I don't think that's his strong suit. I've never touted him for his coverage. I've been more of a fan of Deshaun Elliott around the box, keeping a lid on certain things, being able to tackle, a couple of his PBUs in zone coverage. But again, every now and then, guys, you're going to get put in a situation where the offense is just going to win, right? This is something that I'm teaching my son right now, man, as he's, getting his feet wet, if you will, only at 11 years old, but him playing on his school ball team as well as the AAU team in basketball. I'm teaching him sometimes you could play the best defense in the world and then your opponent just made a great shot, right? But you still walk away with saying great defense. And the reason why I wanted to use that analogy, it's the same thing in the NFL, guys. You could be the best corner, the best cover man or whatever. You're going to get beat. You could call the best play. You're going to get beat. It is the NFL for a reason. It's the best of the best, right? So it's not like when you hear me complain about defense, now I'm off on a tangent. And I love when I do this. I love when I don't really have overarching topics and I just freestyle everything, guys, in case y'all wanted to know. I don't really write much down. When I start talking, I just start talking. Maybe that's from my artist background. I just get up there and go, right? It's not like you're going to make every play. So I don't want people to get it misconstrued when you hear me complain about the defense, because it's certain things that I complain about our defense, even when we do something great. It's basically the philosophy that bothers me. And really quick, guys, I'm going to interrupt myself really, really, really quick here as we're going to shout out the last king of Scotland. I appreciate the Wonder Bread. Round of applause. Last King of Scotland says, in my opinion, it looks like GP was dropping passes on purpose. Respect the opinion, Scotland, but I don't want to go that far. Listen, I'm not going to say it's impossible. I believe anything is possible, right? I'm one of those people that there's certain things that you don't want to believe, but I also leave the door open for anything to be possible with any kind of situation. I'll give you a perfect example. Look at what's happening with some of these people in the music industry. Some of these people we've seen on camera, you can kind of develop your own opinion. But I'll use another person, and I'm not going to say his name, only because, just don't want to really say the name. But there's another person that has an allegation against them pertaining to a 13-year-old child, and it's out there right now. And it looks like the story sounds kind of crazy. And, some of you may be a fan of this artist. And I say this, listen, there's certain things that I don't want to believe, but I don't put anything past anybody. I just don't. So I say that in the same regard as to George Pickens. I don't want to believe that he's dropping passes on purpose, but I don't put anything past anybody. I would say this, if we want to play that side of the narrative, let's say he is doing that. Not a good look, brother. because other teams are watching and evaluating. And that's the thing I would want to teach these young guys, man, and gals. When you're out here and you're young and you're living your life and doing what you want to do, and you're a celebrity or you're an athlete and everybody knows your name, everybody knows your face, you're being watched at all times. So don't think that you can act a fool here and then somebody else will welcome you in. It don't always work like that. So I would hope George Pickens is not doing anything like that. It's definitely going to cost him in the long run. I will say that because the narrative is out there. And once the narrative is out there, whether we admit it or agree to it or not, the court of the public opinion, once that public opinion is out there, it affects things. So you think other GMs and other teams are not seeing what's being said about him? I hope the brother gets it together, man, because I really do like George Pickens' talent. I just don't want him to be another one of those guys that could have been. That would be a real shame. But King of Scotland, I appreciate the donation, my brother. I really appreciate that. Okay, where did I leave off, man? What was I saying? I was talking about see, this is the danger of freestyling stuff. You don't remember where you were. But I was talking about philosophy. Basically, you're not going to make every defensive play. I understand that. You cannot play zone every day. I mean, every day. Every play. You can't play zone every play. You can't play man every play. You can't bump and run every play. You can't trail every play. Now, some defenses and teams have a philosophy. They're just going to run this, and this is all they're going to run, and you beat me, I beat you. I'm cool with that, too. But I say all that to say this, man. Just watching that first drive, not only do we have Corey Trice on Jamar Chase for most of the game. I don't understand that plan. There was a play, y'all remember on the first drive when it was an easy pitch and catch where Joe Burrow just threw that out route, quick 9-10 yard out route to Jamar Chase. I went back and looked at that play a little while ago, and literally Corey Trice is 10 yards away from Jamar Chase from the line of scrimmage. And I showed you the Kenyon. When you look at the end zone view, Joe Burrow peeked over there before the snap, and it was like he knew he was going there the whole time. It was said hut, and he looked over there and just easy pitch and catch. And my point is, we make it too easy. Very next play was the touchdown, right? Now we got Trice up in his face, trying to get his hands on him. But two things that happened on that particular play I did not like. For one, if you're going to get in front of him, we still gave him the inside. We didn't shade the coverage inside, so we didn't protect the inside. We still lined up Trice on Jamar Chase's outside shoulder. And even though he went to get hands on him, he still opened up to the outside this way and allowed Jamar Chase to easily get in there for the slant. And on top of that, let me say it again. On top of that, we blitz Cam Sutton, leaving no help. It was just, and Minka, if I'm not mistaken, was in the middle of the field, right? It's just, what were we thinking right there? Why are we continuing to run this nickel blitz and it's not working? I don't think it has worked at all this season. And if you heard me on the, what night did we play? Was that Saturday? You heard me on Saturday night. Would have heard me say after the game, I don't think it's worked since Mike Hilton has left. I don't think we have landed a sack from the nickel blitz since Mike Hilton. Round of applause to my good man, Jamar Sanders, man. Appreciate the Wonder Bread, sir. Can't be mad at anybody that says this. He says, wish Justin had all year to show if he is the future. I noticed Russ showing his age. Once it got cold, we can't sign him back for long. Beat Ravens, please. Oh, Jamar, you got a crazy run-on sentence right here, my brother. So again, I'm gonna try to read it the way you wrote it, and we all should be able to decipher what you're saying. I'm gonna try to piece it. Wish Justin had all year to show if he is the future. Boom, period. I noticed Russ showing his age. Once it got cold, that's a period. He said, we can't sign him back for a long period. Beat the Ravens, please. I'm with you with all those points. Again, you guys heard my point of view when we decided to go with Russell Wilson. We all felt like, well, not all. Some of you guys felt like, okay, let's see where the offense can go from a passing standpoint. With Russ, you kind of know what you were going to get. Russ is going to throw the deep ball. Russ is going to, work off the play action, more veteran presence, more accurate. But what did I also say? What a lot of you guys said as well. What we're going to lose is size. We're going to lose mobility in terms of QB design runs, RPO action and things like that, zone read, and youth. So I don't think anybody could be mad by saying, man, I wish Justin would have stayed in the whole time to see if he could be the future. But at the same time, I don't think anybody could be upset saying we weren't getting enough from the offense. Let's see if Russell Wilson can propel it. And largely he did. We did start to see the offense get into more of a rhythm with Russell Wilson. But these last 4 weeks, be it tough opponents, the offense has severely regressed. And it's back to what we saw to begin the year, coincidentally, with Justin Fields. We're back to scoring less than 20. We're back to scoring only 17. In some games, we're back to scoring 10 points. So it's been a roller coaster, but not mad at that point at all. So let's again, going back to what I said about the defense, man, I just don't understand why. It's almost like we are so afraid to get beat over the top, bruh. Oh, hold on. Big time Wonder Bread. I could make sandwiches for a long time with this Wonder Bread, like my man, brother man, like bruh man from Martin. I got plenty of sandwiches with this Wonder Bread. Thank you, Will I Am. I appreciate you, brother. Sandwiches. Oh. Man, Will I Am, he says, holding Cincy to 1 touchdown with Barrow and company was very impressive. And it gives me hope. We know Lamar way too much to let him beat us twice. Do you think if we lose Saturday 5 in a row, it puts Tomlin in the hot seat? Man, you got some good questions here and good points. Let's acknowledge what Will I Am said at first. He says, holding Cincy to 1 touchdown with Joe Burrow and company, that was impressive by the defense. I have to admit that, especially after seeing how bad the defense had played the last few weeks in terms of blowing coverages, missed assignments, miscommunication. From what I saw in real time, again, I have not watched the all 22 in full. I've only watched the first quarter. Early on, opening drive, it looked like the same old defensive problems, but they did buckle down. And they started to play way better. So again, as I continue to watch the All-22, I will take a look and see if and when there may have been communication issues. But clearly, watching the game in real time, I clearly think we all could walk away and say better defensive effort, and absolutely agree with you, Will. Holding that team to 19 points is not bad at all, right? He says it gives him hope going into Baltimore and not allowing Lamar Jackson to beat us twice. It's tricky. Here's the reason why I say that. Lamar Jackson still hasn't really outright beat the Steelers. Had a solid game in that last loss, but it was Derrick Henry that opened up everything for them. Derrick Henry was getting off, and the fact that we keyed on Lamar so much in the zone read game, that's all they did, man. They just ran the zone read back to back to back to back, and Derrick Henry was getting chunks of yards. And, it opened up everything else. It opened up plays downfield. It opened up Andrews and, and Likely and Bateman. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. You know, if you're going to tell me that the Steelers are going to be able to put a bottleneck on the run game, force Lamar to beat you in the air, which, let's be honest, Lamar can do now. But I like chances better if he has to pass more and not allow them to get comfortable, because I'm always going to say I do like the potential of what the pass rush can do to speed things up or make Lamar have to improvise and do something silly. But then also we have to rush Lamar Jackson with integrity. Like they always say, lane integrity, get a rush up the middle, keep guys on the outside so he can't step up and take a 30-yard run down the field. But the way our offense is playing, I just don't have the confidence, man. And I'm going to get into that here in a bit. But I don't have any confidence going into this game. I really don't. Does it put Tomlin on the hot seat? I don't think so. I don't think so. Listen, I hate to say this, but I think it's the truth. NFL owners, they play a different game than what we want them to play. Thank you, Christopher. I'm coming right to you in a moment. But they play a different game, guys, than what we would love to see from our team. Let me explain. The Pittsburgh Steelers are tied with the New England Patriots of having the most Super Bowls in NFL history at 6. You know how many years the NFL has been in existence? And there's only 2 teams that has as many as 6. There's a couple teams that have 5. We know who they are. Then after that is 4 and then on down. With that being said, NFL owners understand it's not the easiest thing to do. Also, if you're the Rooneys, you already at the top of the heap. Yeah, we got 6. Only one other team got more than us, got the equal amount than us. So what I'm saying is NFL owners and just owners of football teams, this is the game they play. That right there. What keeps the lights on? What keeps the registers going ching, 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 running it up? What keeps us comfortable? What keeps us being able to do this the way we live? What keeps us marketable? What keeps us exciting and intriguing and still having that brand recognition? It's having a winning culture. Some of you guys are going to say, yeah, but that the Steelers standard. I get it. The standard is the standard, right? Because we set a standard in the 70s, before my time, but they set a standard of winning 4 Super Bowls in a decade. And then they came back and they won 2 more Super Bowls after that in the 2000s, right? Almost got them one in what was that, 2010, when we lost to the Packers? I understand the standard, but again, owners play in a different game. The Steelers for 18 years now, I'm just talking about the Tomlin era, has been consistently in the conversation because of that stat that some people say, there's no merit to it, but I'm going to say it, because there hasn't been a losing season. That keeps hope alive. That keeps people buying tickets and buying memorabilia and all of that type of stuff. So I say all that to say, no, he's not on the hot seat, because also you got to remember who we're talking about. We're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, who've only had 3 head coaches. Only 3. They're not going to fire Mike Tomlin. If anything, when his contract expires, I know a couple of you guys the other night said only 2 more years, but if I'm not mistaken, I think he actually has 3 seasons remaining, right? I think it was this season and 3 more seasons, but I could be wrong. So no, I do not think he's on the hot seat. Again, think about the things that are going to keep him in the door. Has not had a franchise or winning quarterback or dependable franchise quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger's decline. So again, there is, as much as us as fans would say his time is up, there's so many things within an organization that would make them consider, well, this didn't happen and that didn't happen and he's never had a losing season. All of that stuff matters to owners, guys. I'm just trying to speak from a business standpoint. So Christopher West, man, let me get you. Appreciate that Wonder Bread, as well as my good brother CT Pittman. I appreciate y'all. I'm telling y'all, man, I'm going to be making lots of sandwiches. Thank y'all, man. Let's see. Christopher says, is there a reason was this team, okay, again, this seems to be a little off, but I'm going to read it the way you wrote it. Is there a reason was this team does not let the pass game establish the run? I love Tomlin, but his inability to adapt worries me. Okay, let me read this again. Is there a reason? I'm thinking was is supposed to be why. Is there a reason why this team does not let the pass game establish the run? Okay, I got you. I wish I had the answer for you, man, Chris. I do. I really do, because it kind of goes along with what I say a lot about Arthur Smith, man. It's like that guy's just gonna stick to the script no matter what. Come out and do something different. Come out and empty to start the game. Come out in 4 wide to start the game. Come out in 11 personnel and pass to start the game. Hey, even do something semi-predictable. Go play action on first down to start the game. Yes, you can pass to run. You can definitely pass to set up the run, Arthur Smith. So I fully agree with Christopher West. You said, Tomlin's inability to adapt worries me. Yeah, it's kind of what I was talking about Saturday night, man. And I'm gonna put a bow on it again tonight, just to make sure all of the crowd that, some watch me after the game, some watch me on Turbo Towel. I want everybody to hear that point I made, so I'm gonna get there. But it's just philosophy, man, and it's the Steelers' philosophy. It either works or it doesn't, and that is definitely a hindrance. So yeah, let's keep it going, man. My man CT Pittman said, ESPN Get Up did a whole segment on Tomlin and teams wanting to trade him and would fire their coaches to get him. Said they know the Rooney's not going to do it. Yeah, I don't foresee that happening, man. And contrary to what some people would believe, you're absolutely correct, man. Teams would be lining up out the door to hire Mike Tomlin or trade for Mike Tomlin if they knew the option was on the table. It only seems bad to our fan base because we have not won a playoff game since 2016. We have not won a Super Bowl in several years. That's the only reason why our fan base, I think we are a little bit, I'm not going to say spoiled. I will say, how they say sometimes you can't recognize greatness when it's the norm, right? A coach not having a winning season is a great feat. But we are a fan base that's used to or expecting more than just that. So to us, it's like, But there's a whole lot of other franchises that would love to have that type of stability. You have to be great at something in order to do that for 18 seasons. Agree or disagree, but you cannot be a dun-dun-dun and do that. I just don't believe that. But again, others would look at that and say, man, what an excellent coach. I hear other fan bases say it all the time, but I can understand why still a nation has kind of gotten, tired of the privileged normal. Fair, it's a fair point. Oh man, baby Stiller, I appreciate you. Thank you for the Wonder Bread. Okay. She says, this is for Johnny. Shout out to my man, Johnny. Again, got to get the phones back on, man, so I can hear my man, Johnny, do his thing. He says, I wish GP could talk to his 40-year-old self. It would go like this. I was a great talent, but my attitude was bad. Regrets. Absolutely, man. I do. I wish somehow he could just see the light, man. Name a time when that's worked out. And maybe that's a challenge for me and you guys in the chat. Name a time when a player has acted the way they're acting and it's really worked out for them. And I'm talking about just being sour, not being the best teammate. Some people might say Antonio Brown, but listen, Antonio Brown starts showing the worst of himself post some of his accomplishments after the Super Bowl with the Bucks. He really started bugging out. You know what I mean? Like quitting before the game and so all that kind of stuff. I can't think of a time that's worked for any athlete where you just present yourself as nasty or a cancer or, you know, sometimes you see it the opposite way. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. A guy like primetime Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders was cocky, talked a lot of smack, but he backed it up. That's totally different than a guy acting the way like that George Pickens is acting. And I just wish he would see the light because this dude is uber talented, bruh. Talent ain't even the word for this dude. Y'all heard what I said about him. Y'all have heard me repeatedly say he's one of the best pure hands catchers that I have ever seen because of how easy he does it, how effortless he does it, how he makes it look like the norm, how he contorts his body and all that. And it's like, it's so simple to him. It don't look like a strain or struggle. One of the best I've ever seen. That's the type of talent that this dude possesses. He could be one of the best ever. And imagine if he got his route tree down. That's where I need him to be at. You not getting the ball, make it to where they have to throw you the ball because your route running is so impeccable. You understand what I'm saying? Like, do something about it. It's the same thing. I'll tell y'all a quick story, man. It's the same thing I'm teaching my 11-year-old right now in basketball. My son is a shooter, right? He loves to shoot and can shoot. I mean, the boy can shoot that thing, even from the 3, right? But here's the thing. Before he played school ball, before he played AAU, you know, we had him playing in rec. He was the man in rec. They had him bringing the ball up. I don't think he should have been doing that because as soon as he crossed half court, he trying to score. He wasn't a natural facilitator. Now, with a higher level, school ball and AAU, they're finally playing, you know, they're playing him in the right spots, right? But, of course, he doesn't have the ball in his hand as much. So in his mind, he doesn't feel like he gets as many opportunities. So I said, remember, you're the shooter. They got you playing around the perimeter. They got you playing around the wing. You want to get the ball more? Cut. Set a pick. Pop out. Swing to that corner. If you don't get the ball in 2 seconds, run to the next corner. Ball don't come again, cut through the lane. Hand up. Ball don't come again, back out to the top of the key. I've been teaching them. Keep moving. Keep moving. Thank Reggie Miller. Thank Steph Curry. Like, keep moving. I even showed them Rip Hamilton tape. I was like, that's how you're going to get the ball way more because you're open. And even your coaches will see that and he will start telling the point guards, yo, you should have passed it right there. And guess what's starting to happen? He's starting to get the ball more, getting more opportunities to shoot that thing because the boy is a shooter. So it's the same thing I would say about George Pickens. Dog, if you want to be that dude, you got to be that dude. And make it to where it's undeniable, man. But I don't know. I went off in left field right there, man. But round of applause to my good brother CT Pittman again, man. Appreciate the Wonder Bread. But also a round of applause to Jamar as well as Brent Fox being extended family members, man. I appreciate y'all as well. Let me get y'all's comment. Jamar Sanders says, would beating the Ravens take away what happened the past 5 games? Well, that would be 4. They lost the past 4, but good question. Maybe. And I will explain why I say that. For me, again, I didn't expect much from this team anyway. Y'all know I started saying that about 3-4 weeks ago. I didn't know what type of team this would be. Remember, I said at the beginning of the year, I think we'd be a little bit better than last year. Maybe we have a quarterback now that can at least win one playoff game, and that's it. Those were my expectations. But after seeing how we played against stiffer competition over the last 4 games and it didn't fare correctly, it might at least make me feel a little bit better about the team if they go to Baltimore and win, because Baltimore is obviously playing for something. So if this team that hasn't looked that great in the last 4 weeks can go to Baltimore and get the win, it doesn't take away the past 5 games, but I would give them a huge salute. That's going to be a daunting task. Brent Fox says, for the first Terrible Towel Tuesday of 2025, dear offensive players and staff, if you don't want what you always do, if you do you go and get what you always got? Oh man! And the reason why I bust out laughing because I knew what you were referencing right there, man. Shout out to T.I. Yeah, man. Yeah. We just got to do something different in all aspects. CT Pittman says, tell GP to ask Cheetah about thinking the grass is greener. Woo! That rhymed too, CT Pittman. See, that's my rapper brain. Ask the Cheetah about thinking the grass is greener. And some people would say that's not a rhyme, but if you flow it the right way, Cheetah rhymes with greener. See, rapper brain, you take the ER off it and you greener. Cheetah, greener. Yeah. That's a fact. That is a fact. GP think it's sweet, man. Gotta read Debbie's comment. She says, people always forget that Shannon Sharp was railing on Tomlin about this, coddling 14, but AB did not act like this. AB worked his tail off before, during, and after practices. Debbie, you get one of these. You get one of those, Debbie. You are absolutely correct. That people forget that. People forget that Antonio Brown was the best receiver in football for 5 of them Jones. 5 of them. Where my boy Antoine at? Jones. 5 of them Jones. He was that ball for 5 of them Jones. 5 years in a row, bro. Come on, man. Stop it. This is not the second coming to Antonio Brown. Again, people have recency bias when they think about AB. They just think about the last time you saw him. But let's not forget he was that guy. GP ain't been that. So cut it out. Yeah, man. Where else was I going, guys? I talked about defense. All right, man. Let's round this out because I think we could pretty much finish up everything. Basically talking about who's in the thumbnail right there. Listen. Offensively, we just don't do anything. I'm not even going to say different. We just stick to the same plan. We just stick to the same plan. You know what I'm saying? We don't deviate. It's bad, guys. I'm telling you. Watching film is like a horror film. Just watching the first quarter. Cincinnati come out, they in their 12 personnel, but they got the tight end split out. It makes it look like 3 wide, even though it's a tight end. 1 tight end in line, right? But it's spread out. And they go right to him. They run a little pick play. They hit the tight end in a quick quick out route for 7-8 yards. It looks different. You look at the Steelers, we go 12 personnel, we tight. Most of the time we run it to the left or right. Then if we play action out of it, it's 1 or 2 routes to the same side. It's that play. Y'all remember the play where it was a play action? I think it was after that screen play, I think, to George Pickens on the first drive. And they did a play action to Najee, and then, Cincinnati's defense, the guy busted all open, right? And Russ had to throw it to the ground. Dog, it was only 2 routes over there. And one of them was a deep route. The other one was like a 7-8 yard out, but you're not going to get to it. I think it was going to end up being a screen. to Najee, play action, and then, but it's so easy, bruh. It's so easy. We don't do anything different. And then when you get in 11 personnel, sometimes things work out for us, but we do it such, with so much script to where teams know, all right, it's third intermediate. They're going to go to 11 now, and we're going to sit on the sticks. And it's so easy. And this is route combination. This is direct play call. Number 2 problem is Russell Wilson. I hate to say it. I love Russell Wilson. I've always loved Russell Wilson as a player, him being an underdog, him being quote unquote undersized, him being from my natural born hometown. Always been a big fan of Russ. Always loved the deep ball that Russ would throw, the moon ball as they call it. I was like, this dude got one of the best deep balls in the game. When he was Russ, he was Russ. But what has been an issue with Russell Wilson? 2 things. He does not attack the middle of the field. And it's funny, right? Because it's something that all of us screamed about the last couple seasons with Matt Canada, is how we wouldn't attack the middle of the field. So it's very interesting that the Steelers would go out and get Russell Wilson. But again, this is where I do put this on Tomlin and his philosophy. He hires Arthur Smith. We know the type of offense Arthur Smith ran at Tennessee. That's what was attractive to the Steelers, I'm sure. So when you're doing that, it seems like we're just not going to attack the middle of the field that much. But even when the middle of the field is there, there's times that Russ can't get to it, because if you keep Russell Wilson in the pocket, remember I said this a few weeks ago, he's a liability. Maybe his stature and he can't see over guys, or maybe he just feels like, things are collapsing on him and he can't really step up and he tries to get out of there. There was a play that I showed Kenyon earlier. Me and Kenyon both actually saw somebody post this on Twitter today, where they were saying, hey, look at this concept and look at why it couldn't happen because of Russell Wilson. Then he came back and he posted the same concept from the Saints and showed the difference. Same play. And I showed Kenyon in my video, Russ had time to step up in the pocket. He could have hit Freiermuth coming on an in route. But he never did. He bailed a touch too early. He sensed the pressure and he got out of there, but he had time. He had plenty of time to just stay in the pocket and deliver it. But again, maybe he can't see it. Russell Wilson has always cooked the best on the move. Think about it. Go back and look at his career. He either creates, right? Russ has always been great with doing the de facto Ben Roethlisberger, right? Extending the play, spinning out and running here, running there. And I say the fact that Ben just was different with his, especially him being Big Ben and playing Ben ball. But Russ has always been good at extending plays and finding guys deep, or they boot him out. They move the pocket. That's when Russell Wilson has been effective. Not so much when he has to stand and deliver. So that, in the combination of Arthur Smith's offense, is why this Steelers offense is stagnant when it doesn't work. When it works, it works. But we have no middle ground, and that is a serious problem. Round of applause again, man, to some of my faithful, man. C.T. Pittman again with the Wonder Bread, as well as Y. Diggy, man, being an extended family member for 39 months. Good Lord. Appreciate you, brothers. C.T. Pittman said, isn't it ironic on Hard Knocks what the coaches on the other team said about Russell's passing? They were spot on. In case y'all didn't see that. Won't they spot on, C.T. Pittman? What my man said, he said this guy has no mid-range. I think that's the analogy he said. He has no mid-range. He said he either shoots from 3 or was something else he said. I forgot the other part, but he says either a 3 or it's something else. But he said he has no mid-range. I was like, oh my Lord. What an excellent way to break it down. And that is fact on fact on fact. Again, man, Shout outs to those coaches as well. But I would say, including Tomlin, if y'all are watching Hard Knocks and y'all come away from that saying that Mike Tomlin is not a good coach, I don't know what to tell you. And even listening to some of these other coaches, their plan, like listening to their plan, dog, these guys know what they're doing, man. It's just that some guys have a different philosophy, and that's Mike Tomlin. I'm going to get there in a second. Why Diggy says, so how much are we putting on Tomlin for these offensive woes? Because we've been saying the same thing since Todd Haley was fired. 3 offensive coordinators, same-ish. And this, my friends, is what I was saying Saturday night. Let's say it again right now while we're here. I'm going to try to repeat everything I said. I'm going to just try to briefly do it. I said on Saturday night, here's the real truth about Mike Tomlin. I am one who believes that Mike Tomlin is a great football coach. It's my opinion. He's a great leader of men, a great motivator, great players coach. I think he's even great knowing football. I'm not talking about the stuff that I have beef with, the time management challenges. Mike Tomlin knows football. I know we always try to say he doesn't, but he does. There's way too many stories we've heard from players. The guy played college football, and outside of that, watch Hard Knocks. You hear how he plans. You hear and see how he studies. He knows the game of football. But here's the issue with Mike. Mike has a philosophy. He has a philosophy that he just won't get away from. When he was hired, some of y'all will remember, Steelers football, run the football, stop the run. That was his mantra. He comes from that Tampa 2 tree with Tony Dungy. So these guys are just going to sit, and I say that, not that we run Tampa 2 all the time, but I'm saying we're going to just sit in what we believe in and roll it out there. And that may be the only issue that Tomlin has is his philosophy. He's going to run with it. It's going to work or it's not going to work. Maybe it's not enough deviation. And that is what you can say about Mike Tomlin as an 18-year Pittsburgh Steelers coach. He has one philosophy. Like my man just said, when Todd Haley was there, what was that, Killer B era? We were cooking. Of course, we had the talent, but we were cooking. Remember them games with Ben passing the ball 40, 50 times, and I used to get mad at that. But remember them years where the Steelers was lead number 1 in points and offense and all of that? But look what happened. Like why Diggy just said. The offensive coordinators that followed Todd Haley are all the same structure. Run, pass. Run, pass. Pass. Whoa, run. Oh, run, pass. Run, pass. Pass again. Oh, wait. Go back to the run, pass. That's philosophy. Again, I can separate the two. That doesn't qualify Mike Tomlin from being a great coach, in my opinion. It's philosophy. I've accepted that he has a philosophy, and sometimes we have the roster that can carry out that philosophy better than others. That is the truth of it. That is what you guys need to prepare yourself for the remainder of his contract, and in case he gets extended again after those years are up. As long as Tomlin is the head coach, I feel like he's going to stick to his philosophies. And we're either going to have players that carry it out great or players that don't carry it out so great. And that's going to determine the success of the Steelers. Do I think the Pittsburgh Steelers could win a Super Bowl with this philosophy? Y'all ready for this? Yeah. Look at what the Titans did when Smith was there. Got to the AFC Championship game, if I'm not mistaken. If it works, right, if you able to execute it properly, sure, you can win a Super Bowl with You could almost be a one-trick pony if it works, if you're just that dominant with doing what you do. But the question is, what happens when it doesn't work? That's the problem. Okay, I see Night Raider saying no way. I think you're missing what I'm saying. The problem is what happens when it doesn't work. So is it possible to win? Sure it is. If you just dominating, absolutely. You 100% could win a Super Bowl with effectively running the football, killing the time of possession, playing the possession game, stopping the run offensively, keeping teams to under 20 points. Yes, you could win like that. The problem is our Steelers are unable to do that. So that means that Mike Tomlin and company has to evolve their philosophy. You have to, unless you just got these dominant players. But hey, we can agree and disagree. Some of y'all are going to say, oh, it's 2024. You can't do that. All right. Tell me why you can't. Largely, the Baltimore Ravens are doing that. They pass when they need to, but they mix it in enough to where they keep you off balance. But the Baltimore Ravens is a running football team. Let's not get that twisted. But they do it exceptionally well from the running back and the quarterback. But here's the funny thing. Even though I say that, somehow Lamar Jackson has over 4,000 yards passing. Because they pass when they need to, right? But their pedigree is still run. And that's what I mean by mixing philosophy. That is what Monken has brought to their offense. A little bit different from Greg Roman, where it was more run heavy. Now it's a little more balanced. And Lamar, yeah, he got 42 touchdowns some kind of way. But think about it. Lamar, a lot of his touchdowns are not deep. Look at how many games Lamar Jackson has had, which is weird that he's only throwing 200 here, 250 here. It's because they have a perfect balance. That's what I'm saying. So we are kind of saying the same thing for some of you guys that are disagreeing with what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you have a super dominant run game and you are stifling the defense, stopping the run, a team could win a Super Bowl like that. Absolutely. But it's a lot harder to do in today's NFL when you have no variation. You understand what I'm saying? The Ravens have variation, so you can't play them one way anymore, even though you know they want to run. That's the difference. James Webb, man, I appreciate the Wonder Bread, man. Thank y'all so much. He says, we continue to be terrible helpers in the chip game, even with elite rushers. We don't give the same TJ treatments. Love the knee jerk, Sim. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. That's a good point that you're making right there. That's a very good point, man. It's the little minute things like that, yeah. You're right. I mean, how many times we just gonna let Hendrickson just work damn more the way he did without any help? I mean, the proof is right there in the pudding, man. Jamar with another donation. I appreciate you, brother. Round of applause. Yeah. He said KC did that last year. Offense was bad. Honestly, Kansas City defense is really what carried them to where they are now. They got their offense going a little later. All I'm saying, man, it's you don't have to. I don't believe you have to be a pass-first football team to win. You don't. But if you're going to be a bully ball, we're going to run it regardless type of team, then you have to be able to execute it. And you have to have a plan B. And that is the problem. The Steelers don't seem to have a plan B that they can execute. And that's why it looks the way it does. Because, again, we won't saying this. When, we was winning and we was having 100-yard rushing games and stuff like that, we won't saying it so much. also when we beat Cincinnati the first time, right? Why did it look that way? Because for whatever reason, something got under the skin of Arthur Smith and he started opening things up. Where's that? Like, where is that ability to do that? I'm not saying you're going to score 44 every time, but open it up. Why can't we just open it up and start fast? I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, that's what it is with Tomlin, folks. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's what it is. It's what it is. It's philosophy. And you guys have grown tired of the philosophy because it's not winning beyond a winning season anymore. And that could be the case. Or like I said, we don't have the dogs to fully carry out that philosophy. We don't have a franchise quarterback right now. That is a key component. A key component. Remember, again, why we're so upset and frustrated with this team and yada, 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 and we haven't done this and haven't done that, just look at some of these teams we've had. We haven't even had franchise quarterback. Do y'all realize that y'all were overly expecting us to win a playoff game? Was that last year? When Mason Rudolph against the Buffalo Bills. Oh, y'all was pissed. Let me remind y'all that. Y'all was pissed. That's the team that we were expected to win a playoff game. I'm just saying. I remember some of y'all hated the fact that Russell Wilson was the starter. That's the same guy that y'all are expecting to go to Baltimore and win that. So yeah, even though philosophy and all that matters, but what also matters is having the right people. We have not had a franchise quarterback in several years now. We're still trying to find somebody. I said it the other night. The common denominator in all of these good teams that we see in the playoffs, what is it? Young franchise quarterback. Some of them it's taken longer. Hey, Josh Allen and Lamar still hasn't won a Super Bowl, but they're constant contenders. They look like constant contenders throughout the year and the production that they're getting from these guys. Joe Burrow has already been to a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, forget about it. We already know that. Justin Herbert, here he come. Oh, wait a minute. Look at Bo Nix. I'm not saying but it looks like he's starting to turn it around. Second half of the season, we'll see what happens going forward if that ends up being a great pick for them. Jalen Hurts has already done his thing. Jared Goff, a guy that got traded, but look at him now. You see what I'm saying? That is not the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenneth Pickett, Mitchell Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges, Russell Wilson, and Justin Fields. Not poo-pooing on those guys. I'm just saying. Everybody says Justin Fields has potential, but again, potential, not yet. Russell Wilson, old veteran. Some people said he's washed up. Ben Roethlisberger the last 3 seasons. I'm just saying, guys, I'm not giving excuses. I told y'all, my biggest letdown was the Killer B era. Even though I knew the defense was trash, that was the biggest letdown in Tomlin's era for me. Even though I acknowledge that our defense just was never quite it. Still, with that high-powered offense, we should have won something. And we didn't. And that's going to be the sour taste in my mouth for Mike Tomlin's era. Unless somehow Mike Tomlin wins a Super Bowl again before he's no longer the coach, then I will give him a slight pass on that era. I still will respect him for being a great coach in the Steelers era for what he's accomplished. But I'm still very, very disappointed by the Killer B era. I just am. And maybe Kevin Colbert takes some of that blame too, because they just didn't do enough. But C.T. Pittman, man, more Wonder Bread. I appreciate you. From what I've seen, man, Freiermuth just ain't it, man, in the run blocking game. I keep it simple. I mean, every now and then he makes a block here and there, but he's just not. He's not. That's all I'm going to say. He is not what other tight ends have been for the Steelers in that department. I'll say that. But I'm very happy to see Freiermuth has come to life a bit. Russell Wilson has had a hand in that. Good to see. What does he have now? 7 or 8 touchdowns on the year. This looks like a guy that we should have extended. Finally, I think Pat Freiermuth can do all of what we're seeing. I think he's capable of this a lot. I really do. I think he's very capable of having games like he had Sunday, where he's 8-9 catches, touchdown. Very capable of that if we utilize him and if we pass the ball in the middle of the field. But yeah, man. Yeah, that's how I feel. A&R says, and we extended him. Shake my head. Who you talking about? Who you upset about extending? But that's all I got, man. Well, I will say this last little piece before I get in the chat. I'm going to say more because I am going to try to get a pregame show in. But how I feel today, guys, you see the title. You see the title. And understand what I'm trying to say. I said it in a cute way without having to curse. The Steelers are a melting snowball heading to Baltimore. Oh, okay, I got you, A&R. Yeah, we don't use them enough, not until now. Melting snowball, folks, going into Baltimore. So translate that. They don't have a snowball chance in melting snowball. I know what some of y'all are going to say. Hey, and if I'm wrong, fine. If we talking Saturday night on the show and I'm talking about how we went in there and we beat the Ravens, hey, I'll take it back. I won't take it back because this is how I feel. I'll just say, hey, they got the job done. But there is absolutely nothing that makes me feel like they're going to win. I know what y'all are going to say. Some of y'all already said, oh, we ain't going to let Lamar beat us twice. And oh, we know how to play the Ravens. And we're very familiar with them. And look at our record against them over the last 10 or 11 games. None of that matters. What matters is what our team looked like in the last 4 weeks against the teams that are all in the tournament. All teams, well, I'm sorry, not the Bengals. The Bengals didn't make it, unfortunate for them. But we saw what it looked like against the Ravens, the Eagles, and the Chiefs. 3 teams that have a chance to possibly be crowned at the end of the year. Offense couldn't get it done. Our defense hung in there as long as they could, and then they broke. That's what happened in all 3 of those games. Ravens got started early, just running that ball on us. But we could not match the effort. We made it a close game right before halftime at 17-10, and then it just fell apart. I have zero confidence that this offense can go outscore any of these playoff teams. I have a bit of confidence that our defense will fight enough to keep us in the fight, much like they did against Cincinnati. They had a nice turnaround, better than what they had played in those previous 3 games. But if your offense is not producing points, what difference does it make? The dam is going to break eventually when it's 3 and out, 4 and out, 5 and out. Eventually you're going to crack and crumble. The Steelers right now, in my opinion, in order to win football games, they need to be a team that's in the lead. They need to have teams chasing them, not the other way around. James Webb, man, again with the Wonder Bread. Thank you so much, my brother. He says, we continue to be bad situationally. 4th and 1s, no sneaks in multiple games. Go deep on 3rd and shorts, predictable first down plays. Yeah. And the funny thing, James, is that sequence against Cincinnati when the sneak and Russell was stopped short And then the play right after that with Jaylen Warren. Number one, I love Jaylen Warren, but again, I don't like that play call with him lined up so far behind the line of scrimmage because you give guys an opportunity to just get a push. Situations like that, I would rather sneak it again or bring in Najee Harris, the bigger back who might fall forward for this much for the first down. Come on. He might fight his way through that contact. And that's what I'm saying. Situationally, we have been horrible at times. Horrible. It has to stop, man. It has to stop. It's tiring. It's tiring seeing it. Yeah. But that's all I got, man. What y'all got in the chat? Give me a few before I get out of here. They ain't got a snowball's chance, man. You don't? I am not expecting us to win this game. I'm going to watch it and root and scream to the top of my lungs as if they were going to win. But deep down, I do not expect them to win. I posted on Twitter last week. I said, man, I'm glad that the Steelers season will be over next Saturday. And I meant that because I'm tired of the agony, man. I'm tired of the agony and pain this season. Because, again, guys, we're not a Super Bowl team. And if they were somehow, and they ended up winning it, I don't know how they did it. That would be my response. But they are not winning nobody's championship. It would be nice for them to finally win another playoff game, but, bruh, I don't see it happening. Brent Fox says, we have a 5% chance of winning. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. Leonard Green says, at this point, it's going to take a miracle. Unless the Ravens don't take us seriously, the only way we win. Can't deny that. What else y'all got? Doubleback says, we not utilizing Williams at all. Our weapons are not being utilized properly. The Art Steeler says, preach. Yeah, man. Anthony Alamondo says, it's Ravens time this year. I don't know about that in terms of time. And when you say that, I don't know if I'm interpreting that correctly, but when I say it's somebody's time, like you're saying that this is their year, I don't know about that. I felt like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I felt like last season was the Ravens season. I felt like that was the season that they were going to get to the Super Bowl, the way they looked throughout the year. I don't feel that this season. Now, they're capable, but I also think the Ravens are capable of being beat. I do. I think Buffalo could give them a run for sure. I think, if they ended up having to play Kansas City at any point, I think another one of these teams could surprise them. I think if the Chargers played them again, it could be interesting. I also think the Chargers and the Broncos, I think one of those teams is going to surprise somebody in the playoffs. Don't know how far they're going to go, but I think those are some teams that could get a little scary, man, if you take them lightly, because they're coming. What else y'all got? Knight Rider said, wow, 5%. My man Marlon says, George Pickens with his talent and Darnell Washington with his size alone should be a nightmare for opposing teams. But the coaches can't come up with nothing creative to make them scary. This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Marlon, man. It's sad. It's sad because, like I said, it's the philosophy gets in the way of Mike Tomlin's greatness. I think many people will be upset with him and cuss him out and say he sucks and all that, which is not true, in my opinion. But it's hard to argue because of the philosophy that he continues, right? So when you're seeing the lack of production and things of that nature, it's hard to argue against that. And your point right there is, you said it perfect, man. It's no way that this team, this offense is not scaring somebody. I mean, God, man, Darnell Washington. Like, can we get Darnell Washington just downfield sometimes? Like, just run him up the seam. Put him and Pat Fryermuth out there. Muth being more of the possession type of guy. but put both of them, line them up, one on this side, one on that side, and work the seams against linebackers. Like, come on, man. That shouldn't be rocket science. Annie and Spence says if they go 3 and out on the first drive, I'm out. Not gonna play with my emotions again for 3 hours. I feel you, man, but I always rock it to the end, man. Always just watch the whole thing. I feel you though, brother. Mark says, facts, Sim. Ravens had home field advantage last year. If they beat us, they're going to Buffalo, then KC in the likelihood. Yeah, man. I don't like their chances. I think, again, and this is me being unbiased. I'm not a Ravens fan, but I thought last season was their year, man, and I felt like they pissed it away. If I be frank, I think they pissed it away, man. I think that was their year. Yeah, can't sleep on the Chargers. Cannot sleep on those Chargers. All right, I'm going to take a few more, man, then I'm going to get up out of here. I can't never remember how to pronounce your name, Verge, so I'm going to just call you Verge. Verge says Tomlin's game plan this week is to punt on third down. Yeah, man. Hey, I will say this. We all know the type of philosophy that he has, but I still say the calls that are being, the plays that are being called falls on the coordinator, right? I can have a philosophy saying, hey, I want to run the football, blah, 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 but it's up to the coordinator. It is up to the offensive coordinator to call the plays or construct plays, create plays to do that. You understand what I'm saying? So I know we put a lot of it on Tomlin's head, but again, guys, the head coach, I always say it, they get too much criticism and they get too much credit. You got to give them the credit and the criticism that they deserve. You can have a philosophy, but I hire you to carry out that philosophy. So I can say, hey, I want to run the football. I want to be a running team. I want to be a 70-30 run team. And I need the coordinator to look back at me and say, I got you, boss. We're going to take care of that. I'm going to come up with these plays. I'm going to come up with plays they ain't never seen before to make sure we can run that ball effectively. And then I look back at them and say, that's what I'm talking about. Let's see it. That's how that goes, in my opinion. I can't blame everything on this guy if this guy's plays are dun-dun-dun-dun. See what I'm saying? So that's why, a lot of you guys feel like, oh, man, you're making excuses. I'm not. I give the blame and credit where I feel like it's deserved. Just like y'all hear me say certain things, I put on players more than coaches. But that's how I feel about the coach and head coach. The head coach and coordinator. Head coach has a philosophy. Head coach has a plan in mind on how they want their team to function. But they hire these guys to build the plan. Again, Mike Tomlin hires Arthur Smith because he knows the type of mentality he has. But it's Arthur Smith's job to create plays, to make running easier. Like maybe spreading the defense out from time to time. That makes it a little easier. Spread them out from time to time. Hey, run pistol from time to time. That makes it a little easier. That ain't Mike Tomlin saying call this formation and call this play. That's that man's playbook. Same thing with Terrell Austin, even though I know Mike Tomlin gives a lot of, put a lot of hand into the defense as well, but Terrell Austin is the one calling the plays. See what I'm saying? So that's just how I feel about it, man. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. I think I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. It's been enough for the night. I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Y'all was dropping that Wonder Bread like crazy. Love and respect to you guys for that. I think I'm about to hop on this Peloton bike, man, so I could get some exercise in for the night with the snowstorm and all of that. Me and my wife have been hitting the gym over the last 2 weeks, trying to get back into that mode. Your boy going to get buff on them. But we haven't been able to do it. Last week was a little rough, with the holidays and my son's tournaments and all of that. And this week we got snow. Couldn't go yesterday, couldn't go today. So I'll go ahead and hop on the Pelly. At least get 30 minutes of good cardio in real quick. But yeah, we'll get out of here. Y'all said I'm missing this debate. I don't know what they debating, but I let y'all have it in the comments, man. What Debbie said? Debbie says, I need a new eyeglass prescription because I'm seeing crazy in this chat now about generational running backs. Uh-oh. I seen somebody talking about Eric Dickerson. Whoa. Oh, Lydell says Henry is better than Eric Dickerson. Wow. I don't know about that, brother. What? I don't know, bro. Yeah, I would have to say that I'm gonna go Eric Dickerson, man. I think Eric Dickerson had more in his bag than Derrick Henry. It's just that simple. I would encourage some of you guys, listen, back in them days, a lot of us was a lot younger then and might not have really been paying attention to football like that. But I'm the type of person that when I'm into something, the same thing I do with music, I go back and study the greats. I've watched endless games and tape of Eric. Again, I played running back. I've watched all of the greats. One of my favorites was Gale Sayers. Of course, we all like Barry Sanders for his moves and all that, but dog, Gale Sayers had some of the quickest cuts and vision that I have ever seen. Like the ways that he would navigate, ridiculous. So of course I've seen endless Eric Dickerson film and game. Derrick Henry is not Eric Dickerson. Now, that's just my opinion. I'm sorry. He's not. Oh yeah, Gale was, woof, Lord. God, man, the vision and the cuts, ridiculous. That's all I'm gonna say. And if y'all don't know Gale Sayers, bruh, he was special. He was special. But yeah, Eric Dickerson, come on, man, stop it. Derrick Henry is blessed to be somebody at his size that can run that fast, and that's his game. He ain't got no whole lot of moves for you. Derrick Henry is a freight train that can move really fast. He's like an Acela, right? He's not a freight train. He's not the regular Amtrak. He's like an Acela, the bullet train. He's a mammoth human being that can run that fast and strong. That's his game. Get out there, get your little stiff arm, and he's out. That's it. He ain't gonna give you a whole lot of shake and bake and all of that. No. He's definitely not a better pure running back than Eric Dickerson. And that's all I'm gonna say. Steeler card says I'm only 22. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But look, like I told you, there's a lot of these guys I didn't watch either. I was either a young kid or I wasn't born. Like, in the Steelers' heyday in the 70s, I didn't get to see that. But I saw that. You understand what I'm saying? I wasn't watching football like that and be conscious and understand the game like that when Eric Dickerson was, but I went back and watched all that. You understand what I'm saying? I was too young to even be paying attention to who's the best, but as I grew older, I would go back. I've watched Eric Dickerson. I've watched Marcus Allen. I've watched OJ. I've watched Gale Sayers and Walter Payton. Like, I've watched all these guys. Eric Bieniemy. I remember when Eric Bieniemy was nice with that thing. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that, I always say that it don't matter what your age is. Same thing with Jordan. A lot of people in this chat wasn't old enough to watch Michael Jordan and understand the game of basketball. But if you go back and watch him, you understand what I'm saying? That shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter. Age shouldn't matter, man. There's film. Barry Sanders, there's film that you can watch, and it will just show you who these guys were. O.J. Simpson was stupid with it, bro. Stupid with it. Marshall Faulk. Yeah, man. Come on, man. Come on. LaDainian Tomlinson. People forget about LT. I definitely won't, watching football when Tony Dorsett was playing, but I've watched several games with Tony Dorsett. You understand what I'm saying? So, this is a great. Oh, AP, yeah, come on. Yeah, AP. Again, Adrian Peterson. I'm willing to say this, and I'll end it with that. Adrian Peterson is better than Derrick Henry as a pure running back. Yes, yeah. But I don't want to disrespect Derrick Henry. Yeah, and I think we do that too much with sports and music and everything. The comparing. I try not to do that, man, especially with music, and the age-old, debate. Oh, who was better, Jay-Z or Nas or Biggie? They different artists, bruh. I never compared them. Some people think Eminem was the greatest rapper of all time, but Eminem might be one of the greatest technical lyricists. It's a difference. Technical. The way he constructs his rhymes and his bars. But there's other people whose subject matter might have been light years ahead. You understand? So I don't compare. I don't compare people like that. I just say, oh, they were great. They were great. Snoop Dogg has never been the greatest lyricist, but Snoop is that guy. You understand? So that's just me. I just don't compare. I'm not comparing, who's better, Henry or Dickinson. Come on, man, stop. We got to stop that. We got to stop that. But that's just me. Let me not take y'all's fun away. I'm just saying we do that way too much, man, with music and such. Thank you, Jamar, man. I'm going to give you a quick round of applause for more Wonder Bread. Yeah, we do too much of that, man, with we do too much comparing. It's all subjective, guys. It really is. So especially in music, it's all subjective. It's all preference and what you like, and there you have it. Why Diggy says Eminem is overrated. Listen, I've always said this. I will always respect M for being one of the best technical rappers. He's not overrated, but as far as construction of the rap, the bar structure, the cadence, like all of that. Like, and I understand that because that's what I used to do. I understand what pocket he's flowing in and, where he's bouncing on the one versus the two, like technical. But from a subject matter standpoint, it's way more people I would listen to before Eminem. And I'm a fan of M. But me personally, I'll say this, and if you know, I would rather listen to Royce the 5'9" instead of listening to Eminem. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. I'll leave it at that. And I have huge respect and admiration for Eminem. One of the greatest, definitely in terms of, again, technical rapping. But I would much rather listen to Royce the 5'9" than I would Eminem. Some of y'all will understand that. It's subject matter, it's context, it's substance. But I'll leave it at that. Let's get out of here, guys. Listen, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Y'all know that. Love y'all, man. Love y'all so much. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Hold on. What's the last thing right here? Yeah, right there, Leonard Green. Jay and Nas are great in their own right. They are not the same artists. Nas is nowhere near as technical as Hove. But Nas be talking that. Nas' lyrical content is every time. Jay can do that when he wants, but Jay plays the field. Like Hove can get super conscious on you. He could get flow on you. He could turn into Jigga. He could turn into Sean Carter. Like, he has so many different facets. Nas is always giving you that substance. Like, that's just his lane. So they're not the same artist, man. Not the same artist. My bad. I missed the last donation. My bad, Baby Steeler. Appreciate you. And thank you twice. Jay worships what? Y'all crazy, y'all. Yeah, Brent, you know what time it is, man. Royce the 5'9". That's it. I'm done, man. Y'all, I could talk this all night. Y'all think football is my thing, bruh. But anyway, let's get to it. Y'all know the routine, man. First and foremost, if you're new to this, then become true to this. If you like it. Show me that you like it. Hit the like button. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to be notified of when videos are available or streaming, yada, 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 you got to turn on those notifications. And if you don't do that, then how would you know? Outside of that, y'all know the routine, man. I need you all to stay healthy, stay safe. God bless. Good night. Like always, I thank each and every one of you all for tuning in. And until next time, which should be live, will be after the game, but haven't decided if I'm going to do a stream or a post video for the pregame. But I will see y'all soon. Have a good one. Peace.